What's the biggest mistake you've made in email marketing? I'm sure none, but
Uh, the biggest mistake I made was the biggest learning, which was to believe that inactive people should be culled from your list. And I did this back in about, we had a very large UK broadcaster as a client, and they had a very large list for the UK. It was about 2 million. And they'd been mailing people for about 2 or 3 years when we started working for them or whatever it was. And I did the usual thing and saying, don't mail to the inactives. And they said, no, we're mailing to the inactives. I said, don't mail to the inactives. So I quietly ran a test for 4 years to prove them that inactives were completely useless and were costing them money. And I was completely wrong. And it was the genesis of my whole view about inactives, because for 4 years, about 1 or 2% of those people opened, right? And most of the ones that opened became engaged. What you have to watch is after about 3 years or so, almost every open becomes an unsubscribe, and that tells you you've killed the list, right? But it was a beautiful mistake to make. Hubris made me try and take on a client and prove them wrong. And what I learned for it transformed the way I look at email forever.
and what's the biggest mistake you see others make continually?
They can't count. So what do I mean by that? My favorite Sesame Street character is the Count, and I'm thinking of him as I say they can't count. Let me explain. There's a difference between a rate and a number, okay, as I've said to you before. The easiest way to get a high rate is to reduce the number of people who are exposed to the message and only put it in front of someone you 100% know is going to do something. Well, how are you going to grow like that, okay? The way we grow in email marketing is we put the growth piece out to social media and search and everything else, and just do the conversion piece on board. And if we were to count, so instead of saying my open rate was 10%, we say we had 100 people open this week, right? And when we had a 2% open rate, we had 1,000 people open, right? You would suddenly think about email marketing in a different way. So rates, in golfing parlance, right? Driving's for the show and putting's for the dough, right? And in email marketing, rates are for the show, numbers are for the dough.